Clap test. All right, I'll do one more clap test with no coughs. Are we all cough free?
Are we all cough free?
Just destroy the mics.
Just fucking. All right, actually, that's gonna be the real start. We're going with that.
All right.
Welcome to the Lame Dudes Podcast.
Shit.
Hey.
No, you
What's poppin'? Yeah, we turned on feedback
Are we live?
protection.
All right.
By coughing.
Yo.
Yeah, we're live.
And we're
We're
live.
good. We got Evan. It's episode 50.
Woo! 50 boys.
Evan's here because he was just chilling. So I was like, "Yo, come on." And then,
Come on.
You know, Hunter's here as always, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then of course Jackson's here.
Fuck
the better
you.
of the lame dudes.
What up, YouTube?
Wow, dude. Someone's upset about the cooking video. I
I'm
think.
glad you introduced us because we literally forget to do that on every single cast. We just assume everybody knows who we are.
You guys know
Yeah.
by now.
Well, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Zach. That was bad. That was really
That
cringy.
was
What up? No, dude,
Jesus
that was great.
Christ.
That was like I somehow soy faced
I'm
a
Zach.
sentence.
Well, welcome.
I love it. No, it's good. It's good.
Can we
Episode
all do a
50.
quick- this is episode 50. Let's all do a quick soy face and celebration.
I don't know that meme, dude. Am I like behind the times?
I don't
Soy
know.
face.
I like soy face as a meme. I don't know.
I
think
like
it's
soy
funny.
face. I don't know what the fuck it is, but that's fine, dude.
Okay.
Hey, I want to do a quick
Oh,
shout
is that
out.
the YouTube thumbnail face? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like dudes who are like
Oh, okay. I'm with
With
you.
their
take
mouths
selfies
open.
but are uncomfortable with taking selfies, so they do like a thing. But like for some reason when I do
love
it,
how you
I
do it,
feel
dude.
like this like innate temptation to like make a noise like while I do it.
I'm glad you
Like
do
just
it,
like a
dude.
soy noise.
Well, it
Jesus.
definitely
soy
looks
noise.
Jolioli-esque, where you're like, ah.
Yeah, dude. You make like a crow noise before you do it. It's awesome. Quick shout out to Maverick Hunter Z, I think, in the comments, dude.
Oh yeah,
Giving us
do we know
mad
who that
love.
is?
I don't know, dude. I have no fucking clue.
Yo,
But
shout out to that guy.
Appreciate
He's
you,
dropping
dude.
comments in all the videos. He's like, "Yo, stick with it."
The
So you
one
guys are
member
sick.
of like the Venn diagram of Lame Dudes fans and Mega Man X fans is this guy right here.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just the one guy.
The handshake meme.
Yeah.
Maverick Hunter Z, lame dudes. Mega Man X fans.
Yo,
Whatever.
shout out.
Appreciate
I
him,
don't know the
dude.
joke anymore.
Yeah,
Giving
we-
us support that we need, man. We need that.
It honestly, like, getting those comments feels really fucking good.
Boosts our
50 episodes of
our want to
talking
make
to a
podcasts.
fucking brick wall.
So how many lost episodes are there?
So, yeah, we were
like-
just talking.
we were talking about that.
We probably have, like, 60-plus episodes in the bag at this point. We're experienced.
I
the
think
back.
we've only dropped like 3 episodes.
Wow.
3 episodes that haven't been
And I
released.
think there's a couple episodes that I listed as like 0.5 episodes.
What
where
about
it
our
was just-
secret
Right.
video game podcast that's
Oh,
currently unreleased?
I wonder
Oh,
if I still
shit.
have
I
that.
could think of a lot of unreleased episodes.
Me
It might be
and
more
Evan-
than 3.
Me and Evan have a gaming episode, or we tried to start a whole separate gaming podcast, and then just kind of it never went up, and we couldn't figure out a name for it. And I don't know.
Game dudes.
The Game
I think
Dudes,
we
come
made
on.
that joke before.
Yeah, we did. Oh yeah.
Lame Dudes and Game Dudes.
I was listening to another podcast, and they were making fun of generic gaming podcasts.
That's right.
And they're doing like a
Fuck.
yeah. So guys, be sure to stick around. We're gonna talk about a lot of big games this week. Like doing like there's like a very specific gaming podcast
A lot of big
cadence. Like,
games.
please listen to our podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the only thing I have going on in my life right now.
That's how they talk all the
So-
time.
I guarantee there's already a Game Dudes podcast. Like, it's just such
Yeah,
a
of course
generic.
there is.
Oh, yeah,
There's
yeah.
no way that podcast doesn't exist already.
Yeah.
Do we want to like go through a retrospective or a history of the Lame Dudes?
Oh,
Like
man.
Holy
God,
shit.
we've
How do we
come,
start?
we've come so far in these 50
Started
episodes.
on the beaches, dude.
We had one of these, a good old audio.
couple of beach dogs.
we had
Just a bunch of beachy boys, you know.
a simple Audio Technica dynamic USB mic, which we now have 4 of.
Dude, the USB setup was scuffed. I'm glad we have this
so we
professional
plug it into
setup.
a 4 USB hub that went into my laptop, and it was so low quality that the connection was weak, so we'd have static just
Yeah, yeah.
constantly in the podcast.
Wasn't
Oh,
it
I
like
remember
if it,
those days.
If
And
it
I think
was
the
days.
wrong, if it was like out kind of a halfway or something.
yeah, it would
like,
just jiggle a little
it would
bit.
just
So we'd
fucking-
have like 5 or 10 minute like bursts of just no interference or anything.
Yeah.
But it was rare. It was mostly static. And yeah,
Those
every
are
time
still up.
every time we talked, and if we talked louder, it would be like Like, it would just fucking, it was
Distortion.
like
It
so
was
bad.
terrible.
And then I think the first 2 or 3 episodes we were using one dynamic mic and then a condenser mic, which was your snowball.
Yep.
So
Oh,
and
wow,
we had
really?
my old apartment at the beach was all tile, so the room was like acoustically set up to just echo.
No, the mics would just
So-
echo like insanely bad. It was
Yeah, you could hear Zach over when I was talking. You'd hear him laughing, like
Yeah.
in the background, but then also on his mic. It was very bizarre.
Classic. We've come a long way. And at one point, we'd use a different photo every podcast.
I remember those
Well,
are
for
still
the-
up,
We're
dude.
still
For the
fresh
thumbnail?
on the video episodes, though.
Dude,
you know,
that's
I
right.
realized that the other day. I was like, we don't have a lot of video episodes up right now.
Not
like,
what do we have? Like maybe 15 or something? Less?
Not even
So
10.
what inspired the lame dudes to start doing video?
Clickbaitability,
More
and
stimulation,
visual
for people who
package for
wanna-
viewers.
Yeah, it's just something
It's all
to look
about
at.
the visual, dude. That's all
Listen,
it
when you
is.
got this to work with, you got to show it off.
You got
We
it,
live in
dude.
a world where people
Look at these
thrive
boys.
off short-term hits of dopamine. Video is great. Sometimes I won't listen to audio-only podcasts at work. Excuse me, I'm
You okay?
hiccuping.
Chill.
But if I'm at work, I'll only watch podcasts that have videos accompanied with them. I'll only
Word,
listen to
yeah.
audio-only podcasts in the car because
Just Joe
I will
Rogan.
die if I watch video podcasts in the car.
Because you just want
Yeah,
That's
wanna-
true.
you just
Yeah,
wanna
I buy
watch
that.
them.
But like, do you watch the videos while you're supposed to be working?
Like, do you
Yeah,
watch
but
Joe?
it's more of like a it's more of like a background thing. Like, I'm still doing work, but I can like all right, this is loading, or like I'm saving my Word doc or whatever, and I can just look over and be like, oh, they're doing like fucking the Fortnite dance or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
What they do on
So-
podcasts.
So like
Yeah.
when you watch Joe Rogan, do you like watch him speak? You're like, oh, I gotta watch him say it.
Yeah.
I do not watch
You really
Joe.
do.
I like kind of sometimes I'll half watch Joe Rogan. Some like there's background noise episodes of Joe Rogan, and then there's episodes where it's like this week I was really diving deep into the Joe Rogan DMT podcast clips.
Nice.
Right.
So I was just learning a lot about
Hours of footage,
just
honestly.
a ton of DMT stuff.
No,
And it sounds so cool. But yeah, that was like I was like kind of watching it because it was like, all right, like this is interesting. I actually want to learn about this. But then I was also like, oh, well, I have to do work, and like he's basically saying the same thing over and over again. I just basically had it on autoplay.
Yeah.
So I just let it roll into the next Joe Rogan clip about DMT, you know?
Yeah.
the way he does his YouTube, like, it's no surprise he blew up so much because his YouTube, like, it's just so smart how he does it, like with the clips on the different topics, and then he's got the
Yeah.
full episodes. Like, dude's killing it.
Really
in the,
is.
the
For
podcast
sure.
It started with a
game.
huge boost, as though, like, you know.
True.
Yeah.
And he's interesting, which, like, obviously
Yeah.
helps.
Did you know he started in 2009?
Doing the Joe
No.
Rogan experience.
Isn't that insane? He's been doing the Joe Rogan experience for a decade.
That's
JR.
crazy. I didn't
Have you
know
guys
that.
seen those questionable early clips?
Oh, I'm sure there's some interesting
Oh,
stuff.
he's got some
Oh,
bad
yeah.
stuff back
Because
there.
at one point they would just talk about like conspiracy theories and shit. So I'm sure there's some wild shit in some early Joe Rogan
my
episodes.
Is this available on iTunes at this point?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
I gotta go back and see JRE #1, dude.
Yo, speaking of like content creators doing having questionable opinions.
Yeah.
Did you guys see? So you guys know those like alien comics that have been like all over Twitter for the last week?
No,
It's like
actually.
it's like a 4-panel comic where it's like an alien,
Mm-hmm.
and the alien always does like human things. It's poking fun at our like lives from the perspective of like an alien pretending to do the shit we do.
Yeah, they've been on Reddit a lot too, right?
Yeah. So you know them. So they're pretty
It's like a
funny.
blue
I guess.
alien thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're pretty funny, I guess.
Yeah.
But somebody dug up today a tweet from the creator from 2017 where he was
Uh-oh.
like,
Uh-oh.
he was like, basically, it's actually kind of like a confusing thing to tackle, but he was like, every time I hear like women think about getting abortions, I think about my girlfriend. And it's like this text post of his girlfriend's story about she was gonna be aborted and then wasn't. And he's like, so basically he's like, fuck abortions.
Uh-huh.
And so now everyone's like, dude, you go to the 2017 post and you read the like replies. It's all from today, and everyone's like, I really like those alien comics. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's a very like one-dimensional view of that issue.
Yeah.
It's very like self-serving.
Exactly. It's
And
like,
very,
my
like,
girlfriend's alive. So
I'm making my
against it.
girlfriend feel better about herself in the short term
Yeah.
to like basically like fuck over like a lot of women.
Nah.
Yep.
Yeah, and we're totally having like we had a conversation right before the cast started about heavy shit on
Yeah.
dudes. And
Yeah.
I brought it there.
We're
bad.
just dropping all the heavy shit.
Dude, sometimes we
these
got to go
days.
there. Us boys, we got to tackle those deep subjects.
Yeah.
The absolute danger of Twitter, dude. Like, you literally go back far enough in anybody's timeline, you'll find questionable shit.
Yeah.
Oh my
James Gunn is
God,
back
dude.
though. I mean,
My
I bet you guys
first
talked
Twitter
about that.
account-
He did, I mean, but like,
But he's gonna do Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I'm
Yeah,
happy.
I'm
Reddit,
so glad they caved on that. That's so
Me too.
funny.
Me too.
it's good. Well, yeah, what's in your dark past, Zach? What do you got?
Oh man,
What's in there?
I've got some.
Were you a bit of a gamer back in the day?
Well, my original Twitter, I got a few R-word tweets, which not necessarily. I mean, I still use that word a lot, way more than I should, but not necessarily proud to.
Sure.
So
Not
glad that
Every
Twitter
time he
is
does it,
deleted.
he weeps a single tear.
I'm not necessarily proud of it.
Yeah, not necessarily something you like to do.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Yeah, dude, preach.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a perfect person, but I don't like to make people feel like shit.
Respect.
I think I'm
Respect.
human enough.
Shout out.
I
We
try,
all are, man.
I try.
We all try to fit into
Even though my
society.
brain is rotted from years and years of browsing Reddit and 4chan through high school and
Yeah.
early college.
That'll
and,
ruin you.
and just
That'll warp a young
just
man,
finding
man.
everything and just becoming so narcissistic and
Well, yeah.
jaded about things.
Yeah.
I also think everybody was just like really stupid, like when you're a kid, right? So like,
Yeah, that's
you would
the
say
thing,
stuff
yeah.
just to be offensive, and it's like when that gets dug up when you're actually an adult, it's like,
Yeah,
Sucks.
I was thinking about it the
I
other
think
day
there's a
'cause
difference, though.
I thought about a tweet that I posted.
This
and
was
at
like
one
2
point
years ago.
someone
with
was
that
actually
guy.
like,
Exactly.
I think I was still in high school, but I tweeted something with the R word in it, and someone like was actually like, "Hey, you should like not say that," and I just kind of like gave them like an edgelord reply.
yeah, right.
And
of
I was
course.
like really like
censor
I was
me.
like, oh, I can't believe I did that. But then I thought about it and I was like, that's like 7 years ago that tweet happened. So
An
I was like,
edgelord reply.
I'm confident enough to be like, that's not conduct that I would participate in.
I think all you can
at this
do
age.
at this point, if you get busted for doing something bad when you were like a teenager, is to be like, I'm sorry, that's not the fucking person I am anymore. Like, I've grown up. I was a kid, and
Right.
like, I mean, obviously some stuff is really shitty to deal with, but
I think a lot of people are really scared that like if they admit that they did something wrong, then like
yeah,
they're just gonna immediately just be like permanently canceled. And it's like, in reality, like after someone apologizes, the backlash you see is like a vocal minority where it's like, oh, I don't think that he did, unless that person actually did have a shitty apology, which has happened sometimes.
some people suck.
But a lot of the time, people are like, "Oh, you can't win with these SJWs or whatever. Even if you
Yeah,
apologize,
yeah.
there's no point." And it's like, it's more of a vocal minority that doesn't really understand the issue, and they just want to be able to be like, "Oh, I care about this thing," and be like, "Oh, that's the guy who did this, right?"
Oh.
And it's like, yeah, like,
No, yeah, that's a really good point. There's like some people who just want to be outraged and just want to be mad, right? You
Yeah.
can't please those people, but everyone else is like, we'll be fine with that.
yeah, like for example, this is a great example actually. I just went to one of my favorite podcasts, the Tiny Meat Gang. They were in Portland,
TMG.
Maine, our hometown.
oh,
They're in-
you went to that?
Yo, let's
Yeah, I
collab.
went to
Nice.
it.
You said you were gonna go.
They're at a local venue. They did a live podcast for like an hour and 20 minutes, I want to say, or something. And they did a Q&A at the end, and one of the hosts has an old Vine where he says the N-word.
Don't we all?
And it's like really, and he apologized, and he didn't do it on the correct platforms is the criticism I'll give him. But
He didn't apologize in a Vine.
He reopened the app and no, well, the issue was that he apologized and he posted it on Patreon, but he made it a free post on Patreon. So people were saying he's monetizing his apology.
Who's checking your Patreon?
And I was
dog?
like,
no
yeah,
one.
right.
yeah.
For
That's the
apologies.
thing. But-
Except
monitor
Zach,
all
who
my
gives to their
content
So
Patreon.
here's the
Patreons
thing,
for
and I
apologies.
know exactly why he only posted it on Patreon. And there's two sides of this, right? So one, if you go on his Patreon and you're not paying for his Patreon, the only thing you will see on the Patreon is his apology.
But
That's
why
the
would
only
you go
thing.
on his Patreon?
Right.
That's the thing. So that's the other side of
That's
it
the
is
thing.
why would you not post it? So or make it viewable to people. So all it is reply guys on Twitter responding to criticizers who are like, hey, you should address this. And they're like, he said it on Patreon and it's free, so you can. And it's like, people don't go on Patreon,
Especially not
But
looking
I
for
feel
your
like
apology.
it's as simple
for
as
saying
like
it.
linking the Patreon with a like see full apology here kind of
so
thing.
that's the grand finale of this whole meme. Is at the time they're on tour. They're like, they got all this press. They have a ton of press right now. Like, they're on Entertainment Weekly or some shit the other day.
What?
Like,
Tiny
Tell us
meat.
about
They're-
your
they're-
tiny meat.
if they address this, publicly, I feel like they're probably worried that a PR person for like Entertainment Tonight or like a venue that they're gonna be stopping at during their tour is gonna be like, and they're gonna cancel it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Which not necessarily invalid. So it's kind of like self-serving. But anyways, the whole point of this is that at one point during the Q&A, someone was like, hey, can you talk about why you said the N-word on Vine like 7 years ago? And it was like, why did you pay $100 for it? Like, they had floor seat tickets, so they paid over $100 for these tickets
Damn.
to call this person out. Like, if it bothers you that much, don't support them. And that's the shit that bothers me. Is it's like, it's not even woke. It's just stupid. Like,
Yeah.
you're just being dumb.
Like how smug did that person feel like as they called him out?
Yeah,
at
and they're
their
like,
show?
oh, I'm going to post about this on Twitter for like my 2 friends who know about Cody Ko's podcast to see and go, yes,
Yeah.
you called him out.
Ultimate nut.
Got
Fucking
him.
jizz.
Yeah, I think it's interesting
But-
how like call out culture is like a way of generating social capital.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're taking someone else's failures and using and like amplifying them to generate social capital for yourself. So that's just like, is that
That's
like
wild,
ethical?
actually.
Like, I feel like the most ethical way to do it would to somehow do it without.
A lot of
generating
it
social
comes off
capital.
as like, it's very hard. You have to.
So
I don't try to be like overly vocal about stuff like that, but it's like a lot of people, I feel like a lot of the time when you see someone who's overly vocal about it, they actually end up being like a piece of shit. Like like a year and a half ago at like Vice, there was like this writer guy who was like a major editor at one of the Vice, I think it was Broadly, which I think is like an opinion section of Vice, or I don't remember, but this dude's like an outspoken Twitter feminist and all that. And then like one lady was like, oh yeah, he's actually a violent fucking misogynist abuser, and like he will only hire you if you date him, and then he'll beat you. And then like 5 more women came forward, and it's like,
What?
it's like I don't want to look like those people and just be like, I'm a feminist all the time, and then
Of course. Yeah.
you know, I'm not a perfect person. It's like I shouldn't be so outspoken about that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like you don't need to be. I guess it is hypocritical to call someone on behavior that you're not like following through on yourself, but like, yeah, I guess fix yourself before you try to fix other people. That's a good point.
Yeah,
Did Vice
I guess
cover
that's
the-
kind of my
the
takeaway
incident?
from it. No, they were very, very
They put out a
quiet about it
documentary on it?
conveniently. They're like, ah, la, 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 Vice.
Yikes.
Vice. You know, classic.
No, it's insane how many of those stories are coming out lately,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
it's like people still try to claim that like women don't face disadvantages in the workplace. It's like, dog. Every single major company just has like fucking like literal
There's at least one.
sexual harassment like cases like constantly. It's insane.
So like earlier this week I was just fucking looking through Twitter and some dude had replied to something, I don't even fucking know what, and I clicked his profile and he was a like I stand with Vic, so like the Vic I have no fucking clue how to pronounce his last name, but he's the anime voice actor who was accused of like just extreme amounts of sexual misconduct, and he's been kicked by Funimation. He doesn't do dubs anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just fucking unreal. Like,
Dude really likes his cartoons.
yeah,
Huge cartoons fan.
like Funimation did like an internal investigation and shit, and it's just crazy. Like all that stuff, like coming forward it is so important. Like that people
Yikes,
come
dude.
forward with that stuff.
We're about to conclude part 1 of our video recording
That's the end
here.
of part 1.
Where we said, because earlier before we started, we were actually talking about pronouns. And we were like, let's not have such a serious 50th episode.
Shit.
I can't.
We're gonna
believe
spice
how
things
off
up.
topic we
We're gonna
got.
spice things
We're
up.
going to
next
spice
time.
it up.
Hey,
We'll be
all
right back,
guys.
folks.
Synced.
What up? So we just got into a bit of
Coughs into mic.
a bit of a heat over some gaming.
Yeah, let's talk
topics,
about
so-
We're going back into Sekiro. Shadows die twice.
Oh yeah, Hunter, I heard you sucked at it.
Dude, it's so hard, dude. It's so hard.
I was telling
That's
Evan,
a big blow to Hunty as like a lifelong
really is.
Souls fans.
But that's the thing.
It's
Like
so
I
different.
play it like, or I mean, I'm getting better at not, but I played it like a Souls game at first, and that's exactly not.
Spamming that roll,
Good.
right?
Dude.
Yeah, spamming the roll, just walking counterclockwise around your enemies.
It doesn't work in this
doesn't
game,
work.
dude. It doesn't work. So yeah, that really fucked me up. But
That's fucked. They
Um,
like they're unteaching you like years of conditioning, right?
Yeah.
pretty much.
I think it's cool.
If they drop
It's
like
cool.
Souls 4 after this, that's fucked up.
We'll never drop Souls 4.
Probably not actually. It's probably done.
You just gotta acclimate, dude. You just gotta acclimate and fucking unlearn your shit.
Okay, but the debate was whether there should be easy mode in these games, right? Or if you're
Fuck
playing
no.
So
dude.
no. What we need to clarify is what I was. So this started when we started talking about a tweet I made.
Yeah. I came. To
I
Evan with a
basically
tweet.
said, we should. I don't know why we're still fucking talking about this because the game's Twitter for like 2.5 weeks. It's all they've been talking about is like accessibility and difficulty in video games, and it's like it's so fucking overdone at this point. But there's a huge difference, obviously, between difficulty and accessibility. And Dark Souls fans, I think, particularly need to fucking relax with their gatekeeping. I think they're major gatekeepers over like, dude, I
think it's
suffered.
just people
I,
on Reddit.
like,
I think it's just people on Reddit in general.
Suffered.
I swear it's like they literally
It's like a hive
suffered
mind.
and like not hated the game, but like were pissed at the game at first. And they're like, other people need to be hurt like I was. They're like, they're like nobody
yeah.
can have
That's
fun
so
at first. You have
strange.
to like have pain and then enjoy it.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think adding an easy mode to any game devalues the game at all.
Really?
I don't.
Okay.
I think if you it plays into the like the machismo around beating it already. You could be like, well, I beat it on the normal difficulty, so I'm like fucking sick, dude. What's good? Like, so
fucking sick.
I don't know.
Do you think it is
what are your
just
guys'
gamers-
thoughts?
you think it's
the
just gamers trying
gameplay
to
has
flex?
to feel the gameplay in easy mode has to like feel like believable to me, if that makes sense. Like, for example, on the Nintendo Switch, I think last year, 2018, we saw Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze come out.
Right, with the Funky Kong mode.
And they added Funky Kong mode, and I tried it because Liz brought it over, and I tried Funky Kong, and I was like, this feels like I preferred Donkey Kong, even though it was more hard and I was bad at it, because it was like, it feels like a slam dunk. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm working towards anything. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like I'm playing the game the way that the people who made the game intended me to play it.
Right, but maybe that should be a personal choice you make. Like, if that's what you're looking for, you should. And people also constantly conflate accessibility versus difficulty. Like, some people with like cognitive disabilities literally need the help to get through the game. Like,
That's a good point.
and,
yeah.
or like like neurological disabilities, any kind of disability. Like, you could accessibility options are. To me, like, when it comes down to the argument, I kind of get what people are saying with like, oh, well, there should be no easy mode. But I can't understand not having like accessibility options in a game.
So, my response to that, because I do agree with you, but the caveat is if you're a person on Reddit who goes, I beat and played every Souls game and this game is too hard, that just means you suck at the game.
That's
and
true.
You don't need an easy mode.
That's
you
true.
just need to learn the new gameplay mechanics.
The thing about Dark
but there,
Souls,
yes, I do. You do raise a good point, and I didn't think of it that way. Is that probably some people with like motor function disabilities literally cannot play Sekiro 2 Souls or whatever the fuck it's
the game's
called.
too
true.
fast.
Shadows
or
die
just
twice.
non-gamers.
Two
dude. Like,
souls.
if you're not a
Sekiro,
gamer,
2
you're never
Souls.
gonna make it through. But like maybe on easy mode, you would make it through.
Yeah, I don't think it devalues your own experience to allow other people into the experience.
You experience the game in a slightly different way.
I can't
But
think of
for
a
the
single
most
game
part,
I've
you
played
get to
though.
see the level, you get to experience the sounds,
Yeah.
you get the general
So
vibe.
people are super hung up on the Dark Souls aspect of this, but I can't think of a single game I've played with an easy mode where I played it on the normal difficulty or even the hard difficulty and felt like I was somehow cheated or like that I was doing it wrong or that other people were doing it wrong.
For sure. For sure.
I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. I think it's like gatekeeping because gamers want to feel like they're
That's ridiculous to me because when I played Dark Souls, it honestly never felt like people talked about how hard it was and this and that, but like it always felt like it was what a game should actually just be like. Is like you go in, if you die, you lose your shit, and you go back and you do it again.
Yeah.
It's just like it's what you should do in a video game.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's great about it.
It's interesting because it's like people talk about the Dark Souls easy mode in such like a ambiguous way, but like From Software would do it in a smart way. Like it wouldn't just be like you would never die and like you'd never be punished. It would just lighten the load a little bit.
Sure.
And I don't think that would devalue my experience as like a normal mode or hard mode.
I think
game
people
player.
who are adamantly anti-easy mode are thinking that like Sekiro is going to become like Mario Kart Run or Super Mario Run or whatever that was called, the fucking iOS app.
Yeah.
And like I agree with you in that sense. The developers would not do that. Like
They would do a nuanced.
it would still be a very
smart way to do
I think it would
Of
still be a
course, yeah.
very punishing game.
Yeah.
But I think there would be like maybe an assist for some of the maneuvers that you
Yeah.
have to pull off in that game.
Is there anything to be said for like, I kind of don't want my game to be created and balanced around the fact that there's going to be difficulty levels. Like I feel like, does that make the
I kind of like that
developers?
too, dude. No,
Yeah,
I'm with you on that.
That is an interesting thing because it does require, like, it definitely puts like a weird strain on the player because like you boot up the game and you have to be like, ah, fuck, like what?
I do need to
like,
be
am I
pretty
good?
good right
Am
now.
I bad? I know nothing about this game.
Yeah.
Like,
really true.
so I'm a big proponent of like small factor scales, like being able to tweak like the game speed while you're playing it.
Sure.
You know, like that's kind of where I don't think having like set in stone difficulty options would even be the way to go for any difficulty in any video game. I think that it's weird and it honestly stresses me out usually.
Right.
Like I pick one and I'm like, am I good enough? Or like, or I start
Right.
playing it and then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I'm too good. And then it's like, it's just
So-
uncomfortable.
I'm curious to hear everyone else's method when they play a new video game that they've never played before. Is when you're picking a difficulty when you first start, mainly in single player games, I'm guessing where this happens.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But for me, when I was really young, I would just go easy, right? Because I'm
Right.
a little kid. But I'd say probably since like probably the end of high school, I'll usually go like one level above whatever normal is or whatever I think normal is.
Yeah.
And I'll usually go from there and then I'll go, okay, is this too hard? Or I feel like for me, usually going by that rule, just one level above normal, the learning curve is enough where you still have to be engaged and focused in the game, but then you also have to like try eventually, and you have to learn a lot of new stuff.
Yeah,
really
I mean, it
quickly.
totally just depends on your like expertise.
Well,
you know?
what difficulties do you guys tend to go to? Do you
Dude,
guys tend to go to like the normal, or do you go to the hard, or the easiest, or the hardest, or?
I always like to start on normal.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's how the game was kind of like.
Like, my name's Hunter. I feel pretty average.
I'm pretty average, dude.
No, I'm a normie gamer, dude. I go
Dude,
straight
at
normal
least
every
at least
time.
Just go
normal to
normal every
start. You
time?
know, like
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm actually with Zach. I usually pick the slight, like the harder difficulty, and then I am perfectly happy to downgrade myself if I suck.
Yeah, I don't feel that bad going down a level or literally going to the easiest level. Like I don't-
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Skyrim, I played
Unless I'm
on
trying to get an
fucking
achievement or
novice when
something.
I was in high school.
So actually, that reminds me. I was like 4 months ago. I was replaying Skyrim on Switch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I did it on one of the higher difficulties. It's like, I've played this game. It's like, I know how to play this game. It'll be more fun this way.
Mhm.
And I think it's interesting how difficulty can be defined per some game designers as just increasing the health of enemies and
Right.
like the amount of
Yeah.
hits they can
They
take.
do-
That's not fun.
They
Like,
do
how does that make it that much
such a
harder?
bad job in Bethesda games of scaling
It's
difficulty.
so like I literally just would get wrecked, and there wasn't like that much I could do about it because they just had so much more health than me. Like I guess I
Yeah.
could have gone and done some grinding.
Who the fuck wants to do that?
Who wants to grind?
When there's
So
already
I
like
bump
no
myself down.
options in
Skyrim
the
game.
combat
Fuck that.
system, yeah, you're fucked. And
The
that's
default-
that's what I kind of meant. Where it's like if they have like difficulty levels, but it's just like health scaling or damage sponge.
You
Like
do
it's
less
such a
damage,
shit
yeah.
like way to do it. I'd rather not have it at all.
Yeah.
It does work pretty good in Diablo, though. I'll give them that.
Sure.
In Diablo,
Some games do a great job.
Scaling stats is pretty much the only way that you can.
That's a great point, dude.
Increase
Diablo's
the
the best
difficulty.
example of all this because it's literally like you just push yourself as hard as you want to.
Yep.
And you get rewarded appropriately
Infinitely.
for it.
Yep.
But there's still like
Yeah.
plenty of rewards if you just do the easy shit.
I prefer the games that when you go on the hardest difficulty, it's more like you just take a shit ton of damage, and that's the hard part. Is like don't get hit as much.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if it's
I'm with
two
that.
camps of like the enemies take more damage or you take less damage, I'm far more in the you take
For
less
sure.
damage.
Yeah.
Or more damage. Sorry.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
because that's where your skill comes in. You're like you try not to take the fucking damage. You know what I mean? So like that's why you're on the hard difficulty. So
Yep.
I do respect a game that's got a secret hidden ending for the hardest difficulty. Like, didn't Halo 3 have a legendary ending, I think?
I think it did. Kingdom Hearts comes to mind when I think of that. Those are some fucking sick cutscenes that I watched on YouTube.
Never saw it. Never seen it in person, dude. Never, ever
Shout
seen
out
it.
I don't think
Those
anybody's
fuckers.
seen it in person.
wow.
Yeah, who's beat Kingdom Hearts? Definitely not me.
Hey, how we doing on time?
We got 8 minutes left.
Yo,
yeah, we're good.
I
We're
got
good.
I got
Any
something
quick
to bring
topics?
out, boys.
All right, hit us.
Yeah.
I was at the store.
Oh, we got to do a
And I found
cooking
a-
recap.
sorry, dude.
No, but
Big
go ahead.
touch. But I found a food item that which we got
I forgot about
experimentally.
this.
We got experimentally, and we were like, "Is this gonna be good?" So let's give it a fucking shot.
No way.
And I brought it here today for the podcast for the boys.
Holy shit.
I'm scared.
I can't even imagine what
It's-
food item
I'm
this
really
is.
scared.
Don't be scared. It's pretty tame.
Is it a passion fruit?
Nah, dude.
Damn.
we got here?
We got some Dr. Pepper cotton candy, fellas.
Oh,
Hey!
Jesus Christ!
That actually sounds fucking dank. So,
Hey.
Last night
I
I
need
was
some-
literally
I
having
need
a
some
Dr.
food
Pepper
reviews.
craving.
Here you go, brother.
Nope.
How do you buy cotton candy in a bag? I've only ever seen
Yeah,
cotton candy
this is
like,
new.
You ever seen it in a bag?
This is a new
Fuck no.
snack
It can
format.
come anything you want.
What's wrong with you
Dude,
guys?
I
Shut
didn't
your
know you
bougie
could buy
mouth,
carbon
dude. We get it
fiber
in a bag.
insulation in a bag.
Dude, okay. Just so you guys can
that
see what this
aroma.
looks like.
Oh
It looks like wall insulation,
It looks
honestly.
so
It
bad.
looks so
This looks like-
We're gonna get a copyright claim from like Pink Panther.
Pink
on
Panther
that.
premium carbon fiber wall
it a try,
insulation.
This is normal to you guys?
Alright, I'll-
What the fuck?
or fiberglass.
Excellent mouthfeel.
Oh, it's
Good
so
mouthfeel.
good.
Do you like it?
It literally just. I'm good.
I'm choking, bro.
It's so good.
It tastes like Dr. Pepper with more sugar.
Yeah.
It's,
It's
good.
though.
I like it.
Yeah, can I get some more of
It's
that?
actually pretty good, man. Yeah, that's pretty
I actually like it a lot.
It
Yeah.
does look like installation.
It really does.
It looks like just the saddest insulation.
It would work really well too, I'm sure, if you packed it up.
It looks like decade
Dude,
old.
I'm not gonna lie.
This is like decade old fucking dryer lint.
I tried this
Pretty sure
sober.
they're gonna get this building closed down for asbestos.
I tried this sober, and it wasn't nearly as good as it is today.
Now it tastes great.
Now it tastes like fucking. It's delicious, dude. This is actual Dr. Pepper
so
right in
good.
the
I
bag.
can't get it out of my mouth now that I ate it. It's in there forever. I'm
See,
done.
when I first had it, I was like, okay, there's a moment in between when I put it in my mouth and when it dissolves into Dr. Pepper that it tastes like shit. It's not. It,
That
tastes,
one
it tastes
moment,
really
yeah.
bad. But then once it goes away, you're just left with Dr. Pepper in your mouth. So
It's the Sekiro of foods. It like kind of sucks and then it's great. Like, it's good. It sucks. It's great.
that's a really good way to
Yeah.
describe this shit. But listen, man. Overall,
Can you toss the Dr.
Overall,
Pep?
like solid 7 out of 10.
give it a 7.
I would give it 7 out of
Bit
10.
of a rookie score.
Seven's a good.
Bit of a rookie score, but that's
As
okay,
in
guys.
Jackson's a rookie. Like he's not a.
Okay, that's
you
coming-
got to get in the points. You got to give it a point.
Okay,
something.
but that's coming from someone who didn't know you could buy cotton candy in a bag
This is
until
a
10
low
minutes ago.
tier. This is
They have that one that's in like a clear bag and it's got a really fucking creepy looking clown on it.
Never seen it in my
course there
goddamn
is.
life.
never heard of this.
Never.
I think you can get it at Funtown Splashtown USA.
Ooh.
Please sponsor the cast.
I used to work there, dog. You definitely can't get that. I would have seen it.
you definitely can't get that.
That's true. Jackson did work there.
Squad.
Dude, now I just want cotton candy, like normal cotton candy.
Let's invest in a cotton candy maker.
I was working at that place one day, and they had me like standing. They had me standing in this water because I was in the kiddie boats.
Nice.
Standing in water. I don't want to exaggerate. I think 4 kids rode my ride all day.
They're gonna say peed on your leg or something.
Yeah.
6-hour shift. So
Wait, was that like the lazy canoe ride or whatever?
no, it was the kiddie bumper boats.
Oh, okay.
Hours in between kids coming on my boats.
That was the kiddie bumper boat.
So boring. That was the worst day of my life.
You're like, kids, please come to my boats.
I'm
bored as fuck over here.
I could not believe.
You're
how
like
dead
yelling
it
at
was.
little kids. You're like, "Hey, saw it,
Hey,
dude!
ride my
What's,
ride, bro.
dude, what's fucking good?
What's up, bro?
Yo, what's
no
up,
one
dude?
over here, dog.
Dude, straight up,
No
not
line.
chill that you just ignored me.
No line.
It's like a 7-year-old.
I was right between the go-karts and the adult bumper boats, so just getting like
You're never getting a
high
line,
as
dude.
fuck off those fumes. Just absolute diesel pumping through my.
Nice.
I want to go
Wanna
go-karting so bad.
Yeah.
We got to go to like the
Make a
adult
vlog of
only,
it?
like
I want to
really
go to the
fast
indoor
ones.
karting place.
Yo,
Yeah.
what's the shittiest jobs you guys have ever had? Is that
The
something we've
shittiest
talked about
jobs?
on this pod?
That's a good.
I already told
Got
my
it.
story.
How much time do we have to talk about shitty jobs?
5 minutes, I think.
4 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Go,
Shitty jobs. Worked at Whole Foods at the pizza counter.
dude. That was your best job ever.
That was your best job, dog.
Definitely my shittiest
Can you go
job.
back to that?
Definitely pure physical back pain the whole
Yeah.
time.
Because you have to stand.
You just stand the whole.
They didn't
for
even
like
give you a
11
stool.
hours. Nope.
There's no stool back there. You're fucking me.
Yep. Cement floors.
Fuck.
I think my shittiest job I did for a day. I like
That's good.
I basically like took a tool and blew the fucking paint off of like tire.
Dude,
shits.
you were a fucking water pressure dude.
Yeah.
I would
Oh,
do
those
that.
things are so sick.
I would love to do those jobs.
No, dude. Well, not like that. It was like I cleaned the hubcaps or whatever and blasted them with a fucking sandy thing
God,
to like
dude.
get all the shit off.
Oh,
of
it
so
was
you could
sand. It
redo
wasn't water.
Instantly lamer.
Lame.
Way lame, dude. And that's all
Super
you did
lame.
all fucking day. And I
Just
worked
blasting hubcaps nonstop.
with. Yeah, that's nonstop.
How
dude.
many hubcaps could there be?
With so many, dude. With like 2 Russian dudes
Oh, nice.
who literally wouldn't talk to me at all, except for once in a
Ah.
while they'd be like, "Come over here,"
Suka.
and I'm like, "Fuck." But
Dude, you just had to like.
that was it. I worked 9 hours and I didn't get a break, and I was like, "All right,
should have
I'm
just
not
told him
coming
he's
back here."
play CS:GO, dude. You would. They would
I
have.
know, dude.
That would've been
Like, listen,
cool.
guys, I'm gonna plant the bomb on your ass.
Whoa. What do you got, Evan? Shitty job?
I worked at a antique store for a summer, like when I was in college, and super boring. No one fucking buys antiques.
Yeah. How did those
Like,
places
no.
stay open? It's
Oh,
unreal.
my theory is it was a front for another business.
People walk
Like,
around, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
just like putting money through it to make
Sure.
it. I don't know, because there was nobody ever coming in that spot.
That's wild.
One time, this family came in, and we had this display that someone had built, which was made out of like these antique suitcases. Like it was like a luggage set. It was like 4 different size suitcases, and it was cool. Like it was kind of a neat display. The suitcases were kind of cool. And this family comes in, and they're like all in tennis whites. And the mom's like, "Can we get to look at that?" And like I like pull it. I have to like climb on a ladder and pull down this lady's display, like piece by piece. It takes me like 15 minutes. And when I get all the pieces out, she's like, she turns to her like 12-year-old son and is like, "Reginald, what do you think?" And he's like, like he doesn't give a shit. And she's like, "Okay, put him back."
Oh.
I was like, you gonna get your 12-year-old kid this set of antique like luggage for like, yeah, when he goes off to boarding school? I was like, what the fuck? I was actually super pissed, and that was the worst day of my life at that job there.
Wow.
Wow.
At least you had
That'll do it.
customers.
Yeah.
That's
That'll
great.
fucking do it.
All right.
Young
Well, that'll
Jax?
end part 2. BRB.
All right, sync
Clap.
the fuck up, boys.
What up?
Clap,
Did you
clap.
clap?
What up?
Was fucking good. Yeah, I did clap.
What up? We're back to part 3.
Was fucking good. It's fucking popping.
That's going to make a great
How's this
thumbnail.
gonna taste with beer?
Episode 50.
I don't know. Find out.
It goes
dude.
down easy.
Goes down easy.
Pound it. All right, boys.
All right, man.
Let's get into the meme of the week. I discovered this while I was at work.
This is wild.
A little
Big
trend
meme.
called gang stopping.
Yeah.
A
Well
little
done, dude.
trend called.
Well
A little
already
trend
fucked it
called
up.
gang stalking,
What up, gangsta?
or targeted individuals.
You
Yes, that's right. Yes, Zach and I watched a documentary. I don't know if you watched it, Jax.
I listened to a podcast about it.
Okay, word. That's pretty good.
I know nothing.
We watched some videos about these targeted individuals.
Yep.
So blew my mind, really.
Should I give a quick summary?
Yes,
Break it down.
please
So,
do.
Gang stalking.
Gang.
Gang.
On the
Squad.
gang.
So squad gang stalkers. No, but basically there's is it around 10,000 people in the world, they said?
Yeah.
10,000 people who believe that they are being targeted or stalked by some group in the world that has chosen them to just basically be killed over their entire lives. Very, like, just a slow, painful death, basically. They basically are convinced mentally that their entire life revolves around them being harassed by some group of people.
Like
and
the
that
government?
they notice these things about, they all notice like unique methods about being stalked. And they notice these things and they decide that, okay, these people are looking after me because I did this, this, and this. And like,
It's so strange.
They're just messing with, like, none of these people ever get physically hurt by their stalkers. Maybe there are stories of this, and I haven't dived too deep into it.
Right.
But from what I understand, no one is being physically hurt, and to everybody else, it sounds like they are schizophrenic or like schizophrenic bipolar or something. You know what I mean?
Or just super paranoid, right?
Yeah.
But it's very interesting, some of the trends, because sometimes people say things and then they've actually like one person was like, I will literally just get boxed in on the highway by cars.
That's what I was thinking.
And
of
that
right
was
now.
that was the one where I was like, that actually seems real, because they recorded it. They were like, there are these 3 cars and they were all distinctly the exact same color, and one was directly behind the person, one was directly beside the person, and they would always like match his speed based on what I saw in the video. So I was like, what the fuck? So my mind starts getting blown by this, right?
Wow.
You're like, what if I'm being gang stalked?
I actually originally watched the documentary. These are all on Vice, so look up either targeted individuals or gang stalking on YouTube. There's Vice documentaries about it. They're all 20 minutes each. Super easy watch. So I watched the British one, which is targeted individuals. That's what they call the community over there. It's very interesting, and I think the targeted individuals community, they're very focused on like surveillance state type paranoia.
Yeah.
They think
Which
it's
is
the
more
government?
my speed, right? I'm always telling people about like, be careful what data you share on the internet, and like as I like basically give away my own address on the podcast. But yeah, and I've been told by basically my entire family that I sound like an insane conspiracy theorist when I talk about
Data
stuff.
security.
Well, that's funny
Yeah.
because your family.
But it's like, oh, well, I actually know about this, so go fuck yourself. That's basically what I told my mom the other day.
Got him.
Take that, Mom.
I was like, yeah, I actually know how computers work, so I think I'm
Maybe
more
you can
right
fuck
than
right
you.
off.
I think you're ignoring a lot of important facts, but maybe an experienced person could.
So you, listen. I'm not gonna
Zach's
lie.
diatribe about his mother begins.
I'm a targeted individual.
It's like, all right, here we go. Here's all my problems with my mom.
Somehow
Go.
we went from the British documentary to Zach's mom. How we got there, but
Yo, fuck my mom and fuck paranoid, schizophrenic British people.
Yo, listen. I'm not gonna lie. I watched that one. I watched the first documentary you sent me, the Vice one, but the second one was like 40 something
was it the
minutes.
British people one?
I think
or
so.
was it the
'Cause
one
was there
where it
a-
was Americans?
They might have been the American one, because there was one guy. There was one like one gentleman who was on there who had like short silver hair and he had glasses on, and he
That was
talked
the
about
American
being
one.
okay. He talked
Yep.
about being boxed in on the highway and
Yep,
stuff.
that's the American guy.
Okay,
Yep.
so I watched that one. I didn't watch the second one because I didn't have time to watch it, but
That's fine.
To be honest, I wasn't sure how to feel about it. I wasn't sure if these people were literally like, if this was in their head, because sometimes it sounds like they're literally just kind of connecting dots.
Can I just ask how much footage there actually is of this boxing in phenomenon?
I didn't see as much as
like
you said.
It's like a good like 30-second clip of this guy just driving on the highway, and they record 3 like cars. Like it looks like they're just boxing in, but they look like totally normal people, and they blur out their faces and stuff because they have to legally.
What are some of the other ways?
I feel like I've been on the highway and had the person in front of me and the person behind me and someone next to me going roughly the same speed as me.
Yeah. So here's the thing though, is like when someone says this literally happens to me daily all the time, and like every time I leave my house to like do anything to basically survive, this exact thing happens. It's like,
my question is
kind of suspicious.
What kind of gang has time for this goddamn shit?
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Also, boxing someone in on the highway, like, what do you accomplish?
What do you got to do?
The resources. Yeah, so that's the thing is, the idea behind gang stalking is the goal is that you're just basically mentally torturing this person.
Right.
Essentially.
Yeah.
It's like
making their life difficult.
What do you like? I would be a gang stalkee if I'll stalk someone if
I'll fuck someone's life up, dog.
I'll stalk someone if I'm getting paid, but like I'm not gonna just follow someone on the highway.
Right.
And then you hear their ideas of why they're being stalked or who's stalking them, and it's like, oh, I live in the guy we're talking about who got boxed in on the highway.
Yeah, he
says he was being targeted by a fundamentalist Christian group based out of Mississippi, but he lives in Los Angeles. It's like
he was talking about
feasibly that makes no sense.
He was talking, yeah, that makes no sense. But he was also talking about how the place he moved into, wherever he moved into, was against like gay folks, and he happens to be a gay folk, and so he kind of thought that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
But there was also, he talked about, the same dude talked about like cops would just like all of a sudden pull out and follow him or something, or pull him over. What did they do to him? They would like cut him off or some shit. Like police would like
they would basically
way?
swerve around him with their lights on. He said would happen.
Oh yeah, like they turn his lights on behind him and then just go by him.
They'd like turn on his lights behind him or near him, and then they would just swerve around him very aggressively with their lights on. It's like
it's strange.
How would the police? Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's like it becomes, but it's weird because the documentaries portray this like it's actually potentially real.
They really do. They have all kinds of dramatic music and stuff too.
So I guess we'll close it out before we like go on to our closing topics on the podcast. I mean,
what do you think? Do you think it's in people's heads?
It's schizophrenic people, right?
It's confirmation bias. They're like looking for these scenarios that seem like what they've imagined.
Yeah.
Like you say the guy filmed like some people boxing him in, but like if I brought a camera, I bet within 1 week I could get a nice clip looking about the same as that.
The fact that the cars were all the same color and the fact that they were actually physically very close to his vehicle were very scary and did actually make me think for a second. I was like, oh my, that's scary.
But why would the group coordinate car color? Like they're like, all right, bro, we're all gonna get beige fucking Acuras.
It's just like this level. It's like this level of accuracy and like precision that makes no sense and is pointless.
It's like, what's the actual point?
Although if you were trying to like mentally torture someone, getting all the same color would do it. Like,
I guess you're right.
I'm actually getting okay,
but it's like, what do you gain from following a man who's a gay hairdresser from San Diego on the highway? You know what I mean? Like,
but imagine,
and then you fuck off afterward.
Imagine,
like, why is the fundamentalist Christian group from Mississippi following that guy? Why wouldn't they follow a celebrity who has a large platform who they can scare off way more people by killing? You know, that's the part. And so that's ultimately to me.
Yeah.
So okay, so here's a hypothetical. Say you're hypothetically being gang stalked. What is a thing that occurs in your daily life that is most likely to be your like gang stalking like torture method? I'll start out with mine. Yeah, I'll start out with mine. Yeah, driving, idiots driving very, very, very uncomfortably slow in front of me to the point where I have to like almost emergency brake for no reason. It happens.
Sounds like you're driving
multiple times a day. Emergency braking though? No, absolutely not.
Like they're stopping in your lane?
Like when you're getting on the exit on the highway, some dumbass is like just slowing down to 10 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah,
to
that
turn,
happens
and it's
sometimes.
Like, you can go 25, dumbass. Like,
And you got someone behind you up your ass?
but like I said, obviously I don't
Gang
think that I'm
stalked.
being gang stalked.
All right, my gang stalking experience is people, my loved ones in my life, complaining at restaurants to waiters about things waiters cannot control and making me physically uncomfortable. That's my gang stalking
Shit.
experience.
Okay.
They just want to make
That
your
works.
family's in
I
on
think
it,
that
dude.
actually works. That's a
Holy
unique
shit.
Yeah, everyone, my whole family, and like other people I know will just say shit, and I'm like, the waiter like has no fucking
I
control.
mean, if you think about it, it's just a pet peeve combined with schizophrenia. That's the formula for gang
It
stalking.
kind of seems like
It's
it.
true.
X plus Y.
And like
Y equals MX plus B.
like when you get a group of people all like talking to each other about how they're getting gang stalked, it just reinforces it. Like,
Totally.
dude, that's literally
It's
Facebook.
a hive mind,
It's
and
just like
it's only been discovered in the internet era, and that's why these people like exist now. I think is because they met on the internet and they said, "Oh, well, we can have meetups and stuff," which they do. They have a lot of
Okay.
have a
They
ton of
really do.
meetups
but like
about this.
imagine
It's like AA.
like okay, but imagine like you're on Twitter one day, you're just like trolling it up, dude, and you're trolling Elon Musk like epic style, right?
Yeah.
You really get him good, dude. I would not put it past the motherfucker to hire a gang on to like just annoy the shit out of you.
You really get him good, dude.
Yeah. So how much does it cost to just ruin someone's life?
Right, you're paying these people what $60K a year, right? Like to Elon, that's nothing. He makes that in like in a day. Right?
Oh, yeah,
so
dude.
All right, well, let's talk
He
about
makes, like-
affordability.
His ass
How
is
many
60K.
How many people does it take to ruin somebody's life? I would say probably just one, maybe two.
no, but you
From
need.
the sounds of it, it
It's
was
too
like,
obvious if you have one dude doing it because you just see the
Right,
same
because
dude.
then it's just stalking. You're so right.
Yeah.
So at least two people. They make minimum wage in Portland, Maine, which is like what, 15-ish bucks.
12 or
Oh,
something.
dude, it's like
Yeah.
11.
Really? I
It's
thought
12.
I thought Portland specifically was raising the minimum
Maybe
wage.
Portland.
They're
Did.
trying to go up to 17 by like
Yikes.
2021
Damn,
or
I'm going to
something.
move my fucking operation. Jesus.
Trying to hit up Portland.
Yeah.
So
for real.
40-hour
I think
weeks
it's
at $15 an hour. That's
Quick math.
$600 a week. You
He-
caught
but
to,
the thing
to
is-
ruin somebody's life.
But the thing is, you can't just harass them during normal working hours. You got to harass them in those good night hours.
And that's also before taxes. Libertarians comment in the chat. You're getting paid way less to stalk someone for months on end.
Well, we need at least three
Yo,
people
what
to
am I
box
doing?
them
What
in.
can I
Report
write off
boys
about my
at-
like stalking expenses? Like
Yo, gas, all gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mostly a
Um,
gas business.
I've heard about being able to write off the depreciation of your vehicle.
If it's a work
people-
vehicle?
some
Yeah, I
Uber
buy that.
drivers try to write off the depreciation of their vehicle in taxes.
Nice.
That's actually smart.
wild.
Smart.
That's
If it
smart.
works.
Smart as fuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. So, guys, listen, at the end of the day, you're
Probably
probably
illegal.
not getting gang stalked.
Don't do that. Don't take my advice on.
Don't cheat the
Getting
tax system
deductions
either.
on cars.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, don't do that.
Did you guys see that? Was it a Boogie clip of where he just like reveals his like tax fraud live on stream?
I lost my mind when I watched that. I was just like, I saw like, was it on live stream fails? It was like Boogie2988 admits to committing tax fraud.
No way. I
He's
gotta
like,
look this
yeah,
up.
if you
As
do
if
this,
this
you
dude
get
isn't
way
stupid
more
enough.
money back.
Oh my
Like
God.
all of it. And I was
So,
like, ooh.
It was literally like, wasn't it a Yu-Gi-Oh scheme, a Yu-Gi-Oh card scheme? Where
Yeah, he was basically saying like you can buy, like he was saying like he can buy. Was he saying he could buy collectible stuff to write it off as a business expense because it fits his niche or whatever?
That's
But
exactly
he was
it.
using it for, like,
I think he was
personal-
buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards, writing it off as a business expense, and then selling them to his his friends for cash.
Yeah.
He's like, and you can write that all off.
What a
Wink.
baller, dude!
Set
Isn't
it
that
up.
insane?
Holy shit.
That dude is so stupid. It's unreal. He's one of the stupidest.
I gotta.
people.
That's gotta be on the internet.
You know, I used to just be like I used to be super pro Boogie. I'll be honest. Like
Fuck Boogie.
I liked Boogie. I
Always
thought
hated.
I like
Boogie.
Francis.
I loved his Francis videos when I
Nope.
started playing World of Warcraft as a kid.
Never
and, like,
funny.
Yeah.
I thought he was a
Francis.
genuine, real ass dude, but I went on his Twitter the other day, and it's just like he is so like miserable as a person. Like
Well,
he's just
I
like
think so. His wife.
You got to feel bad
left him,
for him,
didn't he?
right? Because his wife left him, and like I don't think his channel's doing too well.
I think he's just literally like the most miserable fucking human being, and like he just spends his whole day like just basically justifying things he says on his videos, and it's like maybe the reason why you justify everything you say in all your videos is because you're saying wrong stuff. And
he's the ultimate centrist,
I don't know why
dude.
that doesn't cross his mind ever.
He literally
like,
cannot take a stance against anything. Like he won't denounce like Nazis or like just like he literally can't do it. It's
so
insane.
here's a hot take. If I say that I don't have a small dick, I just go, yo, what's up? My name's Zach. Yo, shake my hand. Yo, shake my hand. Yo, what's up, dude? My name's Zach. I have not a small dick. My dick is not small.
Not small.
Yo, my dick, not small. People are going to go,
My boy's
yo,
dick, dude?
yo, I think that guy has a small dick.
Dude, is that guy covering for something?
That's just a thing that he should take away, I think. It's just when you spend your whole life saying you're not something,
Chances are
there's a reason why you're being criticized.
Also, just like when you when people call you out for having for being super
Small dick.
sympathetic to really fucked up causes,
Mhm.
actually denounce them. Don't just be like, well, we can't say anything there. Here at the Lame Dudes, we got we're strong in our political opinions, right? What do we got? Fuck
Yo,
Nazis.
fuck all those Nazis, dude. Absolute
Fuck
cunts.
12. Let's go, Bernie. All right.
Let's go, Bernie.
Yo, when I got the email from Bernie, the campaign, when he said it just said Bernie Sanders,
Please
I'm
donate.
running, and I was I freaked out for a second. I was I just saw this email that said I'm running, and it scared me.
Did you watch
I'm
the
in Mexico. Please help me.
Yeah, I'm running.
Did you watch his campaign announcement video?
I never watched it.
It's such a great video.
You said
dude.
it was dank
You'll
as
be
fuck,
fucking
right?
inspired after watching
I was thinking
that
about
video.
donating to him again
Yeah.
soon.
Okay.
I got paid recently.
I
and
get
I'm
he texts me all the time. Dude.
Yeah, he
He's
I get
Mike
emails.
from Bernie keeps texting me.
yeah.
Word, you guys are supporters, man. You get the texts, you get the
Yeah.
emails. Shit.
It's annoying. I'm like, fuck off.
Mike, I need you to chill
Please
with the
leave me
text.
alone.
I get Bernie's running.
Anyway.
Fuck, dude.
Bernie boys.
Yeah, we Bernie boys out here. We feel the burn. Shit.
All right, we got a few more minutes.
We got 2
Uh,
minutes and 40 seconds for some straight heat. What do you got to end it on?
episode 50.
Hope you
Let's
enjoyed our
go.
cooking video. Drop a like
Oh
on
my
that.
God.
Check
we
out that
we
cooking
have to
video.
do some
Holy
meta
shit.
commentary on the cooking
I was
video.
gonna go deeper into the gang stalking, but we don't have enough time. Let's see. I don't know. Do you have any ideas, Hunter?
I want to talk about the cooking video because
I
you
kinda-
guys haven't seen the raw footage. I mean, obviously, everybody's listening to this have watched the cooking
You've
video
seen the
already.
video.
Of course.
If you haven't watched it, go fucking
they're a
watch
real
it.
lame dude fan.
It's our
True.
best
Yeah.
video of all time, I think. The raw footage was just absolute trash, but Hunty somehow edited it up and it just looks sick, dude. So check out that cooking video.
Gang.
It's I think it's called the Lame Dudes Ruin Chicken.
Carbonara.
Lame dudes,
Yeah.
that was it.
lame dudes ruin carbonara.
Carbonara. That was it.
Ah,
Yeah.
I had such a good time editing it, boys. I appreciate it.
It
Such
was
a
good. Some good edits.
one of our most scuffed videos. If you thought our gingerbread challenge, our gingerbread house
Oh my
challenge was
god.
scuffed.
At least that was more in focus, dude.
So scuffed.
Did we ever explain why it wasn't in focus?
Well, basically, Zach forgot to bring a tripod.
Fucking moron.
So Jackson had to hold it the whole time and autofocus on his own because
Well, the main problem is
So
we-
not autofocus.
Right.
Essentially.
Manual
Manually
focus.
focused.
I mean, I am a
focus.
focus machine, but I couldn't do that. I didn't do that good.
There
a
were
job.
definitely some parts where there was no focus to be found, and it was just what I imagine people who are nearsighted see at all times.
Oh my
It's just
god, yeah.
just constantly
If you're
just
nearsighted,
varying
just
levels
don't-
of focus.
yeah,
that
just
aren't
don't wear your
ever
glasses.
in focus.
I took 40 minutes and made it 18, so that tells you.
There
Yeah.
was a
trimmed
lot
the
of
fat,
junk
boys.
in there.
Yo, guys, so actually, this is a great way to close it off. So, if you enjoyed the cooking video, 1, should we do more cooking videos? 2, should we make short length videos or split this podcast into highlights as well?
Yep.
Joe Rogan style.
3, I don't remember what my third thing was going to be, actually.
What should we
We're
cook?
gonna
What
start
should we
putting out
cook
more,
next time?
more other videos, more alternate videos, less,
I want to start
Still
doing
pods,
more
but-
commentary, but off the podcast. And
Yeah.
maybe rotate the podcast to just be our way of just being funny and telling jokes
We're
without
funny.
having to talk about anything.
So funny, dude.
We're
You
so
know?
funny.
Like, not spend 20 minutes talking about a podcaster saying the N-word and like how they could have apologized better.
I don't know, dude. I think those are our most viewed videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When someone says the N-word, the views roll in.
It's true,
Yeah.
man. It's just
But
the
yeah, so
algorithm.
that's. I mean, we're at like an hour here, so
All right, we're
that's
out.
the 50th episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please, fucking.